Hello and welcome back. Welcome again to a new class. In this case, today, class number 103. Slowly but surely, we're opening a path through the advanced area of the English language. Slowly but surely, step by step, little by little, we are making progress. Yes, I'm enjoying it. Are you? I'm enjoying it. Are you? I'm having a good time. Are you? I find this program productive. Do you? I've never done a program like this. Have you? I would love to do more programs like this. Wouldn't you? Okay. I'm enjoying it. And today we have more work to do. Quite a bit. Bastante. Quite a bit. But we'll begin, as usual, with a review. And the review is difficult today because I want to review the two main segments of yesterday's class, which are basically the verb to get and the verb to manage. And there's a connection here that's not easy for me to explain. I'll try again today to clarify it even more. Camera number one. All right, to get. When am I going to get to see him? Yes. When am I going to get to see him? ¿Cuándo voy a conseguir verle? When am I going to manage to see him? Doesn't sound right. When am I going to get to see him? To get plus the infinitive, to get to see, to get to come, to get to play, means to have the opportunity. When will I have the opportunity to see him? When will I get to see him? Will I get to see them when they come? When are they coming? They're coming next week. Only on Monday and Tuesday. Only 2 days? Will I get to see them? Will I get to see them? That means, will I have the opportunity to see them? And if the other person says, yes, of course you'll get to see them. Great. When? Well, on Monday night in Valladolid. In Valladolid? You mean I have to go to Valladolid to see them? Well, that's where they are. And finally, on Monday, I can't manage to go to Valladolid. All right? Means I couldn't find the way. No logré llegar. No logré encontrar la forma de ir a Valladolid. I didn't manage. No conseguí llegar a Valladolid para verles. No conseguir ir. In this case, finally, no tuve la oportunidad de verles. I didn't get to see them. I didn't get to see them because I couldn't manage to find a person to take me to Valladolid. Because the train was full. The buses were full. Sold out. The tickets were sold out. So the only way I had was to ask somebody to take me. So finally, I didn't get to see Pepe and Juan. I didn't get to see them. I didn't get to see them because I couldn't manage, or I didn't manage, to find someone to take me. So I didn't have the opportunity to see them because no logré encontrar quien me llevara. I didn't manage to find someone to take me. I asked at least 10 people, can you take me to Valladolid? Can you take me to no, I'm not going, or no, we don't have any room in the car. So I didn't manage to see them. I didn't manage to meet them. I didn't get to meet them because I couldn't manage to find someone to take me. All right? Will I get to attend the concert? Will I have the opportunity to attend the concert? Well, you will get to attend the concert if you pass the final exam. If you don't pass the final exam, you won't get to go to the concert. Come on, I want to go to the concert. I want to go to the concert. Will I get to go to the concert? Will I have the opportunity to go? Will I get to go to the concert? Of course, I told you. You'll get to go to the concert. You'll get to go. Everybody who passes the final exam will get to go. Will have the opportunity to go. Oh, well, what happened? I didn't manage to pass the exam. No logré aprobar el examen final. I didn't manage to pass the exam. In fact, I didn't manage to find the time to study properly for the exam, so I failed the final exam because I didn't manage to find the time to study. I didn't manage to study enough. No logré estudiar lo suficiente. So I didn't pass. So I didn't get to go. I didn't have the opportunity to go. I didn't get to go. Other people got to go, but I didn't. I didn't get to go. And I was depressed, upset, disappointed. Deprimido, disgustado y decepcionado. I was depressed, disgustado, upset y decepcionado. Disappointed and let down. Demoralized because I didn't get to go to the concert. It was one of my objectives this year was to get to go to that concert, and I didn't get to go because I didn't manage to pass the exam. And I didn't manage to pass the exam because I didn't manage to find enough time to study properly for the exam. All right? And to get to do something. I remember many years ago, I was sitting in the waiting area of the American Embassy in Madrid, and there was a lady with her little child. The child was probably 3 years old, clearly an American family, the woman and her child. The little boy was 3 years old, and the little boy was pulling on his mother's dress, saying, "Mommy, Mommy." I said, "Just a second." And she was talking with a person in the window. The window is la ventanilla aquí, no la ventana. In the ventanilla, window. And the little boy was pulling on her dress, saying, "Mommy, Mommy." "What? Will we get to go to the movie after this? Will we get to go to the movie? Will we have the opportunity to go to the movie? Will we get to go?" "Of course you'll get to go if you stay quiet." But the little boy couldn't manage to be quiet. The little boy was always running around, screaming and shouting, and he couldn't manage to stay still. Permanecer quieto. To stay still and to be quiet. He was always restless. Inquieto. Restless. Como descanso, less. Sin descanso. Means inquieto. The little boy was restless, and the little boy was noisy. Yeah. He was very mischievous. Travieso. Very mischievous. And so he couldn't stay still. He couldn't manage to sit still. It was impossible for the little boy. And he couldn't manage to be quiet because he was a constant focus of noise. He was a generator of noise. So maybe he didn't get to go to the movies because his mother was angry with him. She said, "Now, Jimmy, I told you to stay still and to be quiet. I need to speak to these people. It's very important. So sit down." And little Jimmy couldn't manage to sit down. He couldn't manage to stay still. He couldn't manage to be quiet. So in the end, I wonder, I don't know, did he get to see the film? Did he get to go to the movies? Probably he was going to see Peter Pan or Dumbo or something. This is many years ago, 30 years ago maybe. And I always wonder, siempre me pregunto eso entonces, did the boy get to go to the movies? ¿Logró ir? O sea, ¿tuvo la oportunidad? Probably. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello everyone, my name is Leila, soy Leila y hoy vamos a hacer una clase de repaso con el verbo get, pero de forma especial. I'm here with my student Anna. Anna, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you very much. And you at home, how are you doing? Good? Okay, Anna, are you ready to practice?
Yes, I am.
Are you ready to practice?
Okay, yes, I am.
What are you ready to do?
Practice.
Okay, good. All right. And you guys at home as well, right? Okay, so let's begin. The first part is with the verb get, significando conseguir algo o comprar algo, okay? Ya sabéis que el verbo get tiene muchísimos significados. So this is one of them. Okay? All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, os quiero practicando en casa siempre en voz alta, muchas veces. ¿Ok? No os canséis de practicar en voz alta. It's very, very important. It's essential. All right. Did you get it out of him?
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry, one second. Did you get it out of him? Aquí significa si conseguiste sacárselo. Okay? Did you get it out of him?
Yes, I got it out of him.
Good. Okay. Did you get that extremely expensive coat in the end?
Yes, I got that extremely expensive coat in the end.
Okay, extremely. Esa X que es como si fuera una K y una S. Extremely. One more time?
Yes, I got that extremely
expensive
coat in the end.
In the end. Okay, así que al final se la compró. All right? Okay. Did you get what you came for?
Yes, I got what I came for.
Okay, good. En casa, did you get what you came for? ¿Conseguisteis a lo que vinisteis a hacer. Okay? The next one. Did you end up getting the salmon or the cod?
I ended up getting the salmon.
Okay. En inglés la S de salmón no se pronuncia. Decimos salmon, no decimos salmon, decimos salmon. Okay? Excuse me. Y cod, por si no sabíais, what is it in English? Or
I
in
can't
Spanish?
remember.
Cod
I
is
don't know.
bacalao.
Oh.
Okay? So what did you end up buying? What did you end up getting?
I ended up getting salmon.
The salmon.
The salmon.
Okay, good. Did you get the results you expected?
Yes, I got the results I expected.
I got
The results I expected.
I expected.
Yes, I got the results I expected.
Very good, okay? Yes, I got the. Ahí también hacemos linking. Got the, okay? El sonido de la T desaparece por completo. Got the. ¿Por qué? Because when we have a word that begins with a TH, en este caso the T before disappears completely, okay? Did you get the results you expected? Yes, I got the results I expected, okay? Y esa X, expected, okay? All right, fantastic. You're doing a great job. Y vosotros estáis siempre diciéndolo en voz alta en casa, ¿no? Okay. All right, the next part is the verb to manage to. Okay, to manage plus to. All right, to manage plus to. So, does he manage to always get his way? ¿Se las apaña para siempre salirse con la suya? Does he manage to always get his way?
Yes, he manages to always get his way.
Good, okay. He manages to always get his way, okay? Salirse con la suya is get one's way, okay? Do you manage to always get your way?
No, I don't.
Give me the complete sentence.
No, I don't manage to always get my way.
Okay, good. All right. Ask me if I was able to convince him, okay? But here I want you to use manage, okay? So here I use was able to, but I want you to use manage.
Did you manage to convince him?
Exactly, okay? Or, so here I'm using able. Ask me if I was able to convince him. So
Were you able to? Were you able
to convince him first, and then with manage?
Did you manage to convince him?
Exactly, and then the other one with to be able to?
Were you able to convince him?
Exactly, okay? It means the same exact thing. Were you able to convince him? Did you manage to convince him? It means exactly the same thing, okay? Significa exactamente lo mismo. Okay, good, all right. Did you, yes, so did you, does he manage to read as many books as he wants?
No, he doesn't manage to read as many books as he wants.
Okay. No, he doesn't manage to read as many books as he wants. Okay, siempre con el as, recordad que es una S mosca. Okay, S mosca, always. All right, and ask me if I was able to prepare all my drills.
Did you manage to prepare all your drills?
Very good. Okay, one more time. It's a question, right? Give me intonation.
Did you manage to prepare all your drills?
Okay, good. Now remember, in English it's always the first word and the last word. Did you manage to prepare all your drills? One more time.
Did you manage to prepare all your drills?
Fantastic. Okay, a ver, vosotros en casa. All right. Did you manage to prepare all your drills? Yes, I managed to prepare all my drills. Okay, fantastic. Well done. All right. Y vosotros en casa, siempre practicando. Yo sé que soy muy pesada, but I want you to learn. Quiero que aprendáis. Okay? That's all the time we have for today, so I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Okay, welcome back. As you know, after prepositions in English, we use the ing, or lo que se llama gerundio, pero realmente no es un gerundio. A gerund is a noun, un sustantivo, con ing. El fumar es malo para la salud. Smoking is bad for your health. Smoking is a gerund. Pero si yo digo, Maria was smoking before this class, for example, smoking there is not a gerund. It's a present participle, okay? But in any case, we use the word gerund very freely here in Spain when we teach English. Después del procedimiento, gerundio. Not true, okay? But it's ING. Before starting this class, I spoke to Maria about her smoking habit. Before starting this class, I asked Maria to put on the microphone. Before starting, you know this. After prepositions, always we use the gerund. And we'll continue on camera 1. All right? Before changing to camera 1, I had to explain certain things on camera number 2. Before coming here this afternoon, I had lunch in a nice restaurant. Before having lunch in the restaurant, I spent some time in my office. Before spending time in my office, I spent 3 hours on the radio. Before going to the radio, I had breakfast at home. And before having breakfast, I took a shower. Before taking a shower, I brushed my teeth. Before brushing my teeth, I shaved. No, incorrect. Before having a shower, I shaved. And before shaving, I brushed my teeth. And before brushing my teeth, I got up. And before getting up, I slept. Before going to bed last night, I read a magazine. And before reading the magazine, I don't remember what I did. I spent some time on the computer. Right. Okay. Now, tomorrow, when I get up, I will do many things. After getting up, I'll brush my teeth. After brushing my teeth, I'll shave. After shaving, I'll take a shower. After taking a shower, I'll get dressed. After getting dressed, I'll make a coffee. After drinking the coffee, I'll say goodbye to my wife. After saying goodbye to my wife, I'll leave home. After leaving home, I'll walk to my car. After walking to my car, I'll get into my car. After getting into my car, I'll start it. After starting my car, I'll put it into gear. After putting it into gear, I will start driving and go to work. After going to work, I will start teaching on the radio. After finishing the radio, I'll go to my office. After going to my office, I'll start handling emails. After finishing my emails, I'll go to lunch. And after having lunch, I'll come here. And after getting here, I'll start the program. And after finishing the programs, I'll leave here. After leaving here, I'll go back to my car. After getting into my car, I'll start it. After starting it, I'll go home. And after getting home, I'll say hello to my wife. And after saying hello to my wife, I'll say, "What's for dinner?" Okay. And then after having dinner, I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. Okay. So, before and after. Y con todas las demás preposiciones. En vez de ir en coche, ¿por qué no vas en tren? Instead of going by car, why don't you go by train? Instead of coming here every day, why don't you come here every other day? Instead of drinking water in class, why don't you drink whiskey? Instead of talking about Maria all the time, why don't you talk about Jorge? Instead of wearing a red sweater or orange sweater, this is orange, by the way, in the studio. On television, I don't know. But instead of wearing an orange sweater, why don't you wear a blue sweater? Instead of speaking Spanish, English and Spanish, why don't you give the class only in English? Instead of using the Vaughn method, why don't you use a different method? Instead of using only pencils as props, ayudas en escena, why don't you use pens? All right? Instead of sitting in a white chair, why don't you sit in a black chair? Instead of sitting at a table, why don't you sit on a stool? On a stool. ¿Cómo se dice herramienta en inglés? How do you say herramienta? Tool. Put an S before the T. Stool. And stool is taburete. Stool. A bar stool. Taburete de bar. Instead of teaching, or instead of sitting at a table, why don't you sit on a stool? And before coming here yesterday, what did you do? Before finishing here yesterday, did you talk to Maria about the problems in Albania? All right. Now, before getting home last night, did you stop to have a beer along the way? Before getting home, did you have an accident? All right. After getting home, Did you say good evening to your wife? After having dinner yesterday, what did you do? After getting into bed, did you go to sleep? After watching TV, what did you do? After surfing the web, what did you do? Always the ing after prepositions. All right? The difference between entre is a preposition. Between living in Madrid and living in Barcelona, for me there's very little difference. Between living in Spain and living in Sweden, there's a very big difference in climate. Between living in the States and living in Spain, really, it's a toss-up, which means it's 50-50. I don't know which is better. Between going shopping in Madrid and going shopping in Chicago, I prefer going shopping in Chicago because it's cheaper, especially now with the dollar so low. All right? And between learning English and learning French, I honestly recommend English. It's the lingua franca of this century, and it will continue to be the lingua franca at least for 2 more generations, at least, okay? So between learning Chinese and learning English, I recommend English, really, for your children. If you have children and you want to introduce them to a language, I recommend you concentrate on English. Don't spread the emphasis or the focus. Don't include Chinese. It's quite difficult, all right? So, between learning for your children, between your children learning English or Chinese, I aconsejo English. And between stopping or continuing, I think I will stop for the moment, for about 4 minutes or 5 minutes, because our sponsors are knocking at the door. You know, before finishing every class, I say a few words to you. Before finishing every class, I give you a sermon often. Before finishing every class, I try to motivate you in some way. Before finishing every class, I try to say something realistic about the task involved and the work involved in learning English. Before finishing this class, I try to give you an injection of morale. After finishing this class, I take off my makeup. I go upstairs and take off the makeup. After taking off the makeup, I say goodbye to Maria and to the rest of the technical staff. After saying goodbye to the staff, I get into my car and go home. And when I get home, or after getting home, I relax and enjoy a few hours of peace and quiet. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Hello and welcome to Vaughan Inglés 4.0. My name is, ahora sé dónde está, Alberto Alonso. That's right, and welcome. We've got a great class for you today. In fact, it's something so simple, but sometimes the simple things are what make the difference, right? And I'm here with my student. I'll introduce my students. My student's name is David Little Pine. David Pinilla. David, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Great. I'm good. I'm feeling good, to be honest. I feel good. Now, do you agree with me that sometimes the simple things make all the difference?
Yes, I agree.
Now, I had students, I remember in class, we would work on the difference between the past and the present. Every day I walk. Yesterday I
walked.
Ahora ese te suena como tontería. Y estar ahí 3/4 de hora hablando de walked, talked. And my student said, Alberto, is this really important? I said, if you want to speak in the past tense, yeah. I said, because the difference between the present and the past is right? No, escrito es ed, pero that's the difference. So if you don't make that sound, people think you're speaking in the present and you don't know how to conjugate a verb. Okay, well, I've got another little trick of the trade here.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever been to the United States or have you ever been to England, any of the Anglo
No,
countries?
I've never been to any English-speaking country.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've got to go to New York, although
Yes.
nobody speaks English in New York.
Really? What do they speak?
Spanglish. I think it's more a mix of Spanglish, English, everything. You'll hear every kind of
Okay.
language, but you'll get by. Te apañarás. You'll get
Okay.
by. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, today we're going to look at a lot of times when we use after, or I'm sorry, before en este caso. Se puede hacer con los dos, but vamos a mirar hoy before. So you say, I went to the bank before I went to the tailor, el sastre. Right? Esto es correcto, right?
Okay.
I went to the bank before I went to the tailor.
Uh-huh.
Sounds correct, doesn't it? Suena bastante correcto, ¿no? Okay. Is there another way to say this?
Before going to the tailor, I went to the bank.
Yeah. So this is a thing. We don't have to repeat the subject again. So we can say, I went to the bank before going to the tailor.
Uh-huh.
¿Ves? So no hace falta se puede, pero muchas veces we try to simplify things, not complicate them. So I went to this before el verbo ing en el gerundio haciendo tal cosa. So I want to practice that structure a little bit today because
Okay.
it sounds very simple, but a lot of people don't use it this way. Repiten el sujeto. Y no hace falta. It's not necessary. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to I'll ask you questions. Did you deposit money before leaving the bank?
Yes, I deposited money before
Deposited.
leaving.
Ahora,
I
esto es-
deposited
yeah.
money before leaving the bank.
Okay, one more time.
Yes, I deposited money before leaving the bank.
Yeah, I deposited money, ingresar, to deposit. I deposited money before leaving the bank. No hay que decir before I left the bank. Tienes dos cosas que conjugar ahí. This is getting easier, te lo estoy haciendo más fácil. Okay, now, what is the opposite? Ya que estamos con deposit, what is the opposite? Sacar dinero. We have two ways we can say it.
To take out
Yeah, absolutely. Don't doubt yourself, believe it.
Okay,
Okay, to take out. Right?
and to withdraw.
To withdraw. Qué crack, es que es un crack. To take out or to withdraw money. Dámelo con los dos. Yeah, yesterday I took out money before. Y con el withdraw también.
Okay. Yesterday I took out money before leaving the bank.
Yeah, I took out money before leaving the bank and...
Yesterday I withdrew money before leaving the bank.
Perfecto. Withdrawn es la tercera columna. Es como dibujar. Drew, draw, drawn. Pues igual. Perdona, draw, drew, drawn. Cuando lo tengo que pensar. Okay, to withdraw es presente. Withdrew, pasado. Withdrawn, el perfecto. Okay? La tercera columna. All right, here we go. How do you say quitar? ¿Sabes las zapatillas que llevas en casa, que son muy cómodos, pelusas? What do you call these in Spanish? Son como zapatillas de casa.
Slippers.
En inglés, bueno, en inglés lo sé, perfecto. Slippers, como resbalar, aunque no resbalas en esta. Slippers. Okay, so let me ask you a question. Did you take off your slippers before getting into the shower?
Yes, I took off my slippers before getting into the shower.
I hope so. I hope so, because then you'll have wet slippers. We'll have wet slippers. Okay, let's try another one. Did you take off your hat before getting into the shower?
Yes, I took off my hat before getting into the shower.
Good. So it sounds like you do everything in a normal progression.
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did you turn on the light before entering the room? It's possible. Si está la luz fuera.
Yes, I turned on the light before entering the room.
Yeah, I turned on the light before entering the room. Did you turn off the light before exiting the room?
Yes, I turned off the light before exit the room.
Exit
before
or exit?
exiting
Eso
the
es.
room.
Acordaros que siempre después de before, en este caso, tenemos que usar el gerundio, el ing, the gerund. Okay? Let's try another one. Okay, how do you say calentar el horno? Pero es precalentar en inglés, to preheat, decimos. Aunque hay un cómico que dice, ¿cómo que preheat? There are two things an oven can be, on or off. There's no pre. Right? Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you like to cook?
Yes, I do.
Do you like to bake?
Yes, I do.
Bake is cocinar al horno, right? Okay, well, let me ask you, do you like to bake cakes?
Yes, I do. I love to bake cakes.
My birthday is November 19th.
Okay.
Just for the record,
I take
just so
it into account.
Okay. All right. Did you preheat the oven before baking the cake?
Yes, I preheated.
Preheated, eso es.
Yes, I preheated the oven before baking the
cake.
The cake.
Yeah. So I preheated the oven before baking the cake, right? Now there's an expression in English that we say, that takes the cake. Eso coge la tarta. Eso es lo mejor que he oído. O lo más, ¿sabes? Lo más increíble que he oído. Vamos a decir que todos están contando algo. Everybody's like, oh, I did this weekend. Oh, I did this. Oh, well, I flew in an airplane and that takes the cake.
Okay.
Es como ese se lleva la tarta hoy, porque es la mejor historia, la más increíble. Well, my father says that bakes the cake.
Okay.
En inglés. Entonces, acordaos, si vais a usar la expresión that takes the cake, eso sí que es lo mejor que hemos oído. Okay, let me ask you something. How do you say planchar?
To iron?
Iron, muy bien. Did you iron your shirt before coming here today?
No, I didn't iron my shirt before coming here today.
Well, it looks ironed. Not bad, is it?
Yes, but I sent it to a shop.
Okay.
to an ironing shop.
Ask me if I ironed my shirt before coming here.
Did you iron your shirt before coming here today?
No, I didn't. It's one of these ironless shirts. It's a shirt that if
Wow.
you hang it up right away and say you don't have to iron it.
I have to buy those.
These are great. These are the trick, the secret. Okay. Did you pay the bill before leaving the restaurant?
Yes, I paid the bill before leaving the restaurant.
Okay, so you didn't do a simpa.
No, I didn't do a simpa.
How do you say simpa in English?
I don't know, I have no idea.
Okay, a walkout.
A walkout.
Yeah, we walked out to walk out on the bill. Es como salir. See what?
yeah.
The same idea. All right, well, good job today, David.
Thank you.
And keep following at home. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
All right. Welcome back. All right, manos a la obra. Let's get down to work. Let's get down to work. List number 30. These lists are very, very good. I recommend you spend a lot of time with these lists. Camera one. All right. No quiero que la gente de la sala de espera me oiga. I don't want the people in the waiting room to hear me. Yes, I don't want the people. Shh, quiet. I don't want the people in the waiting room to hear me. Yes, the things I'm talking to are very private. I don't want the people in the waiting room to hear me. You don't want the people in the waiting room to hear you? Shh, quiet. I don't want the people in the waiting room to hear me. Pondré música de fondo para que no te oigan. I'll put on, como ponerse prendas de vestir. I'll put on background music so that they can't hear you. So that, para que no te oigan, so that they can't hear you. En inglés, cuando decimos para que algo, para que no te oigan, siempre insertamos, bueno, casi siempre, can, para que no te puedan oír. En español normalmente decís, mira, para que sepas, en inglés para que puedas saber, okay, para que le veas, para que le puedas ver, we always add can. So, pondré música de fondo. I'll put on background music para que no te oigan, so that they can't hear you. So that. Interesting expression, so that means para que aprendas inglés, so that you can learn English, so that you can learn, so that. Estoy aquí para que tú aprendas. I'm here so that you can learn. I'm here so that you can understand the theory. I'm here so that you can become motivated. I'm here so that you can see me and see my interest in you. Okay, so that. Pondré música de fondo para que no te oigan. I'll put on background music so that they can't hear you, okay? Deja de morderte las uñas, hombre. Stop biting your nails. It's a very bad habit. Stop biting. Fijaos que no digo stop to bite. Eso sería muy raro oírlo. Oye, detente un momento para morderte las uñas un poquito, ¿eh? No. Deja de morderte. Stop biting. Siempre stop más el gerundio. Stop biting your nails. It's a bad habit. Fine, fine. I know it's a bad habit. I am always biting my nails, and I know it's a bad habit, but at least I never scratch anybody. Sometimes you scratch people, all right, by accident. ¿Por qué te muerdes las uñas? Why do you bite your nails? Why do you bite? Escrito bite. Why do you bite your nails? ¿No te he dicho un millón de veces que no exageres? Haven't I told you a million times not to exaggerate? El negativo de los infinitivos is not to. To be or not to be? That is the question. To exaggerate or not to exaggerate? That is the question. Haven't I told you a million times not to exaggerate? Es uno de tus muchos vicios. It's one of your many bad habits. No decimos vices en inglés. Existe vice, pero vice es vicio mucho más criminal. Okay? Vice. Okay? Corrupción in Miami, the television series. In English was Miami Vice. Okay? Que no son vicios como fumar. All right? Well, those are bad habits. Pequeños vicios. Or bad habits. Malos hábitos. Malas costumbres. Bad habits. Yes. Es uno de muchos, el morderte las uñas. It's one of your many bad habits. Okay? Tal vez. Pero a diferencia tuya, nunca he arañado a nadie. Maybe. But unlike you, a diferencia tuya, unlike you, a diferencia de ti, unlike you, I have never scratched anybody. Maybe I bite my nails, and yes, maybe it's a bad habit. But unlike you, igual que like you, al igual que tú, a diferencia tuya. Like you, unlike you. It's easy. Okay? Unlike Barcelona, Madrid doesn't have a coast. It's in the interior. Okay? Unlike Valencia, Toledo doesn't have a coast. So, maybe, but unlike you, I've never scratched, arañado, rasgado, scratched. Bueno, that's just, yeah. I've never scratched anybody. Me lo sé de memoria. I know it by heart. I know it by heart. Se pronuncia heart, no hurt. I know it by heart. Tardé una hora en memorizarlo. It took me an hour to memorize it. It took me an hour to memorize it. It took me an hour to learn it by heart. Learn it by heart or to memorize it. All right? Todos a favor, que levanten la mano. Everybody in favor, please raise your hand. All in favor, or everybody in favor, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hand. Put your hand down. But I'm in favor. Fine, but you can put your hand down now. Okay, all opposed or all against, please raise your hand. Wait a minute. You raised your hand before. Yeah? But are you in favor or against? I don't know. I like to raise my hand. Put your hand down. Why? Because you're confusing me. But you told me to raise my hand. I told you to raise your hand if you were in favor. Well, I did. I raised my hand when you said that. But then you raised your hand a second time when I said all against. So make up your mind. Are you in favor or are you against the idea? What idea? Going to the beach tomorrow. Oh, I'm in favor. Okay, well then if you're in favor, raise your hand. Well, I did. I raised my hand. Okay, but then you raised your hand when I said all opposed. Did I? No, I want to go to the beach. Good. Then raise your hand if you're in favor, not if you're against. All right. No puedo levantar esta caja. I can't lift. Aquí no es raise. Raise is elevar. O levantar así. To lift is, lift. Lift requires effort. To lift. No puedo levantar esta caja. I can't lift this box. It's too heavy. I'm not strong enough. It's too heavy. Vi miles de pájaros en el cielo. I saw thousands of birds in the sky. Mommy, I saw thousands of birds in the sky. Ricky, don't exaggerate. I've told you a million times not to exaggerate. But Mommy, it's true. I saw 1,000 birds in the sky. I saw 1,000, miles de pájaros. I saw thousands of birds in the sky. I promise not to exaggerate. But this is the best English class that exists, okay? I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello there, my name's David Waddell, and it's time to look at translation list number 30. Would you believe it? Number 30. But before I do that, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Juan. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Are you ready to look at some vocabulary before? Yes?
Let's go.
Okay, the first word is, are you ready at home? The first word is numerous, numerous. Okay, let's put Juan to the test. How do you say numerous in Spanish?
Numeroso.
Numeroso. And repeat it in English?
Numerous.
Numerous. Perfect. 1 out of 1. The second one is old age. Old age. Old age, Juan?
Vejez.
Vejez. Muy bien. 2 out of 2. And in English?
Old age.
Old age, yeah. So we link the words. We don't say old age. We say old age, old age, old age. So it's un sonido, ya está. Old age. Okay, the third word, let's see. Stuffy, stuffy. Not stoofy, but stuffy, stuffy. How do you say stuffy? This, for example, this room is very, very stuffy. How do you say stuffy?
Cargado.
Cargado, yeah, we need air, yeah, falta de aire, so it's stuffy.
Could you say overloaded instead of stuffy? Well, that's just physical, isn't it?
It's physical, it's physical. We
Okay.
wouldn't say that in reference to the atmosphere in a room. It's stuffy, stuffy. We can't breathe. So can you say that in English?
Stuffy.
Stuffy, perfect, stuffy. Okay, 3 out of 3 so far, I believe. So let's go on to the fourth, which is standard of living. Standard of living. Any idea?
Nivel de vida.
Yeah, very good. We don't say level of life. Notice, we don't say level of life, we say standard of living. Standard of living. Can you repeat that in English?
Standard of living.
Standard of living, perfect. So 4 out of 4. Now let's see if you can get the last one. It's a very difficult one, this. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'll do my best.
Okay, submarine, submarine. How do you say submarine in Spanish?
Submarino.
Wow, how difficult. Okay, and say it in English?
Submarine.
Submarine, very good. So submarine. Let's go back over the 5 words. The first word was numerous, old age, staffy, staffy, bajando la mandíbula, staffy, not stoofy, staffy, standard of living, and submarine, not submarine, submarine. So now let's look at the translation list number 30. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, the first one is, please feel free to correct my Spanish, because my Spanish is probably not up to the level of your English, but we'll see. Okay, no quiero que la gente en la sala de espera me oiga. Okay? Very good. Okay, Juan.
I don't want people to hear me in the waiting room.
Very good. I don't want people in the waiting room to hear me, or I don't want people to hear me in the waiting room. You are correct. Repeat it one more time.
I don't want people to hear me in the waiting room.
Very good. Or I don't want people in the waiting room to hear me. Either are correct. Good. Okay, the second one is pondré música de fondo para que no te oigan. A ver. Música de fondo. Música de fondo. Oh, that's an interesting one. Do you know?
No.
Okay.
I have no
Don't
idea,
worry, don't worry.
actually.
Okay. I'll just tell you. Background. Background music. Background music. De fondo, yeah? So, cerca de fondo. Background music. So, pondré música de fondo para que no te oigan.
I will put background music. I will put on background music so that he doesn't hear you.
Yeah, no te oigan ellos.
So that they don't hear you.
Very good. Repeat.
I will put on background music so that they don't hear you.
Very good. And now with a contraction.
I'll put on background music so that they don't hear you.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, so I'll put on background music so that they can't hear you. So that they can't hear you. I'll put on background music so that they can't hear you. One more time. Very good. Okay, number 3. Deja de morderte las uñas. Deja de morderte las uñas. A ver, uñas. Okay, very good. Juan?
Stop biting your nails.
Stop biting your nails. Stop biting your nails. Perfect. Repeat.
Stop biting your nails.
Stop biting your nails. Stop biting your nails one more time.
Stop biting your nails.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
You have a slightly more American accent, but that's fine as well. Stop biting your nails. Stop biting your nails. In England, we tend to pronounce the T slightly more forcefully, I guess. Biting, biting. But biting is fine as well. So, good. Number 5 we're on now. Okay. ¿No te he dicho un millón de veces que no exageres? Ha ha ha. Let's see. Very good. Okay.
Haven't I told you a million times not to exaggerate?
Wow, nearly. There was one mistake. Repeat.
Haven't I told you a million
Haven't
times?
I?
Haven't
What?
I told you?
Ah, sí, muy bien. Le piano, yay. Venga.
Haven't I told you a million times not to exaggerate?
Very good, repeat.
Haven't I told you a million times not to exaggerate?
Wow, that was fast, wasn't it? Very fast. Can you do it as fast as him? Let's hear. Very good, okay. Haven't I told you a million times not to exaggerate? Very good. Okay, number 6. Es uno de tus muchos vicios. Es uno de tus muchos vicios. A ver, en casa, sí. Very good. Juan.
It's one of your many vices.
Vices. Very good. It's one of your very many vices. With V, not vices, but vices. Vices. Vibrando la labio. Yeah? Vices. It's one of your many vices. Repeat. Very good. Okay. Number 7. Are you ready?
I'm ready, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Tal vez, pero a diferencia tuya nunca he arañado a nadie. ¿Qué significa esto? ¿Arañado? Any idea? Arañar?
Scratch.
Very good. Okay, so it's a strange sentence, but can you translate it?
Maybe, but
A diferencia tuya. How do you say that?
in comparison to you?
You could say that. It's more common to say unlike you. But unlike you, yeah, carry on.
Is that just
One
one
word, unlike.
Okay.
Unlike. A diferencia de tuya. A diferencia tuya, se dice en español, ¿no? Unlike you.
Maybe, but unlike you, I've never scratched anybody.
Very good. Repeat.
Maybe, but unlike you, I've never scratched anybody.
Good, maybe, but unlike you, I've never scratched anybody. Scratched. Escucha bien. Scratched, not scratch it. Scratched. Scratched. Yeah, God, que bien el inglés, no? Y se siente scratched. Okay, number 8. Me lo sé de memoria. Me lo sé de memoria. Ojo. We don't say anything to do with memory here. Any idea?
I know it by heart.
Very good, excellent. In casa, I know it by heart. Repeat. I know it by heart. And I'm sure you know the next one by heart. Tardé una hora en memorizarlo. A ver. Very good.
It took me an hour to memorize it.
Very good. Repeat.
It took me an hour to memorize it.
Very good. Okay, he's good, isn't he? Let's see if you can do it better. A ver. Very good too. Okay. Todos a favor que levanten la mano.
Everybody okay? Raise your hand.
All in favor, we say, it's a set expression. All in favor, raise your hand. All in favor, raise your hand. Repeat.
All in favor, raise your hand.
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay, in casa, repeat it one more time. Very good. Now, there are 2 more to go, but unfortunately we don't have enough time. So I have to say goodbye. Thank you, Juan, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
All right. Congratulations. Congratulations on finishing. On es una preposición. Congratulations on finishing. Congratulations on completing another class. This is not difficult. Theoretically, the things we are doing are not difficult. Most of the things we see, you have seen before, maybe many times, and maybe 20 years ago. And you have seen them again and again. But I know from many years of experience that very few of you have activated correctly and gained agility with these forms and structures that apparently are not too difficult. The only way to do it is to practice and practice and practice, using your voice and saying these things aloud again and again. That's the best way. I know by experience. In French, in Spanish, and teaching English. See you tomorrow.